Now, whether you can hear me, we're just trying this out, but I was going to make a tree today, and I thought you could watch, so we'll see whether this works. I got my fingers crossed. Anyhow, this is just a simple thing that I'm going to have in my show this coming week up on Artisan, let's see, Lampwork Bead, some Addicts, Limelight, that's the name of it. I need a different mandrel. This last one just must have gotten caught against something else, so I'll find another one that's easy to get to and heat up a rod. This is Devardi glass. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I sure don't mind it. I'm just going to make a simple cone here for the tree. And of course, it's a thick rod, so it's going to take a little while, and I'm heating up my bead release, which is the Dip and Glow. I like that a lot, the blue sludge. It's nice and strong, and it holds on the larger sculptures. This is going to be a tree to go with some new stands that I'm making for the bears. Just because it's kind of a fun way to do it. There's some wooden pieces. I don't know whether they're from a root, from a tree, or what. I found them at a store and I bought every one that they had, and now I'm adding the pieces so that the bears can stand up on them, and I'll show one through a photograph on my page tomorrow probably. I'm heating the rod. This one's kind of funny. It looks like a piece of celery, and just making a cone here. And because I'm left-handed, I tend to work right to left a lot of the time. This is on a 3/32 mandrel also. Just getting the base size down. This is going to be a small tree. We're just testing out this live function. I have no idea whether you can hear my voice or not. There you go. You can see it in the flame. I'm working on a minor burner. I've had this probably almost as long as I've been lamp working. So it's probably getting close to 15 years old now. And it just kind of runs really well all the time. What I like to do is to make a nice even base so it will sit down flat on whatever surface I'm making for the tree. I use these in my snow globes as well. When I heat the bottom, and I've got this tool, I think you can get them on Zuzi's and equivalents on other places, and I just heat the bottom really well, and I put the mandrel through and gently tap it and turn it, and it will flatten it really nicely. And I go back to my glass that I preheated in my kiln, and with the Devardi I found that you have to preheat this or it splatters all over the place, and I think I have the burns to prove it when I haven't been patient enough. So we're keeping the tree warm, and I'm just going to add little strokes down for the base branches and turn it, and they're going to have a little bit of spacing in between them. I like them to stick out a little bit. We know they're going to melt in as they get warm other times while making a tree, but this adds a little bit of width to the tree and a little bit of extra 3D dimension also. If an area is too warm, I'll just go to another area while that one's cooling off, and then I'll make the next row coming up in between these branches, so I start a little higher up and I'm going in between those. And I heat my glass, the amount of glass that I want to use each time before I go in between them, and I just push in and pull out, and that gives me that extra dimension to make it appear like branches. We want to give the look, but we also don't want to make it too fragile either. So we've got that row on, and we're going to start on the next row, and it will go back to that original row there as opposed to the second row. So our third row's in between, and I'm starting up a little higher, and of course I'm ending a little higher so that the branches will do that. So please write comments on this. If you're watching it, give me some pointers. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. I was at an engagement party last night, and I asked one of the younger people, how should I go live? And she says, well, why don't you just go off of Facebook? That should work just fine. So Warner, if you hear this, thank you so much for telling me that it was right in front of my nose the entire time. I had no idea. We're getting close to the end of this. This was just going to be a first quick video to see whether it works. Here's a little tree that will sure look cute with some of the bears. It's simple, yet it gives definitely the idea of this is a tree. I'm going to heat the end of this rod and then pull it out a little bit so it'll be easier to heat up next time. And what I do is just heat the end to a nice glow and then heat my bead release at the bottom of my mandrel. And I'll just touch and wait a sec and then gently pull just a little bit. And I'm letting it cool down a little bit also. I want to keep it thick enough that I can hold it by that glass. And once it feels like it's stiffened up a bit, I'll just heat it with the flame and then put it down and let it cool. And I'm not sure what you can see now or not, but here's the tree. I hope you can see this in the video. I've got to figure out angles and how this is going to work and how to attach it, but I hope you can see it now. Thanks for watching. Let me know how this works. Bye.